So maybe you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur and you're kind of running around working 80, 90 hours a week and you need some help, but you don't know where to go. And what's the difference between finding someone on Upwork or Fiverr or a virtual assistant? That's what we're going to be talking about this week. So if you're one of those really busy entrepreneurs, small business owners, it happens in the first year or two particularly, where you're trying to do everything yourself and you're just getting stressed out, there comes a point where you need help. And people reach out to a few different places. So let's talk about them, and I'll talk about the differences and the benefits and so on. So one place that, and I'm going to mention some websites here, but hey, look, they change over the years. One place that very often people will reach out to get specific tasks done is Fiverr. Now, why is it called Fiverr? Because when the site was first put up, you used to be able to get little tasks done for $5. It's still called Fiverr, but now it's multiples of $5. And this is really the gig economy online. So what do people use Fiverr for? I want to get a 2-minute video edited. You'll find an editor who'll do it on Fiverr. I want to get a book cover designed. I want a PowerPoint template done. I want some graphics. Maybe I want something done. I've used a guy at Fiverr to help me fix a website. So it's a great. Here's a really interesting one. I wanted a graphic to promote an event, and I'd never run the event before. And I didn't want to use a photograph because that kind of wouldn't be of my event. So I found a photograph that I liked and I thought I'll get someone to sketch it. And I found this wonderful lady in Amsterdam who I think for $10 took a photograph of this event. It was a particular style of event, round tables and stuff, and created it into a sketch so that it wasn't noticeable as a photograph or anyone else's particular event, but it was great. So Fiverr is wonderful for those one-off things that you want done. You need some expertise. You don't want to sort of try doing it yourself because you can't, you haven't got the time, and it's really good for that. Another place, and I suppose I'd differentiate it, it's kind of the gig economy again, would be somewhere like Upwork. Now, Upwork used to be called Elance. When it was Elance, I used to use it a lot. I loved Elance. It was a very user-friendly platform. Since it became Upwork, I don't use it much at all. I just find it horrendously unfriendly to use in terms of the system. And there's another reason I don't use it, which I'll come to in a minute. But it is a fantastic place, there is no doubt, a fantastic place to find contractors for, I'd say, kind of bigger pieces of work. I hesitate to say more professional. I don't think that's the case. But it's a place where people are, full-time on the gig economy, professionals in all sorts of fields, and it's probably a little bit easier there to have an ongoing relationship with them. So, for example, many years ago when I was using Elance a lot, I would have, designers based on Elance, now called Upwork, and I would just utilize their services on a regular basis. And so I suppose that's the second category of support that you can get. There's the Fiverr, like the one-off things. There's I'll just call it a task contractor, where you can have an ongoing relationship where they're doing stuff for you. And sites like Upwork have quite a good system where you can manage all of the different projects that are being done. So it's project-based, both Fiverr and Upwork. I suppose then, as your need becomes more frequent and more ongoing, it's natural to want to have somebody who's working more closely with you, that's not dealing through one of these sites. Someone that you maybe need to communicate with a lot more. So if you're dealing with someone through Upwork or Fiverr or whatever, it's here's a message, do this for me, it comes back, it's done. There's not a lot of communication. You'll get to the point where you want people to help you in your business on a more regular basis, and you want to get to know them, you want them to get to know your business, and that's really where people start to then enter the world of virtual assistants. And there's probably two types of virtual assistant, and I notice it in the UK and the US particularly. A lot of people utilize virtual assistants who are based in their town, in their country, and these are professional people who no longer work on an employed basis. they run their own business and they're contracting out their services for a number of clients. So, they might have personal assistant services, anything, video editing. Very often it's sort of office admin type services. And those people are doing that on a variable cost basis. Now that's great. That can be a really good way to access some support early in your business. As your business is growing, you don't have to have full-time people on board. You can maybe have them for a day, 2 days a week, or whatever it is, or as required, and that's fantastic. A lot of people do that. I suppose I never went down that track much because I couldn't really see a cost benefit. So really all I was doing was hiring it's more like a part-time contractor, and I'm still paying, local rates and all the rest of it. The plus side, of course, is that they're based, maybe in your town, in your country. They kind of understand your market a lot better. So there are pros and cons, but for me, the cost wasn't really sort of a benefit for me. So then there's the true sort of virtual assistant. And I actually don't like that term. I've talked about that a few times. But virtual assistant is basically a person who is working remotely. And hey, in October 2020, we're mostly working remotely, so we're all virtual. But the virtual assistant is working remotely for you. It could be part-time, could be full-time, and providing that service very often from a remoter part of the world than you're in. It might be in a lower cost economy, and this is where the cost benefits come in. And typically, there's a lot of virtual assistants based in Eastern Europe, a lot in India. The Philippines is really the hub of virtual assistants these days. I've utilized virtual assistants from all three areas. I have to favor, to be honest, I'm a little bit biased, I favor the Philippines. Why? Because it's very cost effective, probably on a par with India. I find I'm a native English speaker. I do business in English. I find it very easy to access Filipino staff who speak really good English. And it is a second language for them, but gee, it's a very close second language. I find culturally it's a really good fit. And I find their work ethic really good, lots and lots of benefits. So let's just recap on those sort of three, and then I might talk about those virtual assistants a little bit more. So as your business is growing, as you're getting stressed out, number one, just outsource some stuff, individual tasks. Go to Fiverr, go to Upwork, go to other sites. I think there's one still called Freelancer. As your need for support then grows, this, as a smart business owner, you've got to be bringing in support. And if you can't afford full-time local support, then try online contractors. Some people like Upwork. Then think about, a virtual assistant. They're generally very well trained office admin people, online marketing people who can support your business. Very often in a much lower cost country, very cost effective. That's the next step. What's the final step? To be honest, to have full-time remote staff working for you. And that's kind of where I'm at. For me, that's the nirvana. And if you've watched any of the other videos on this channel, there's some there where I talk about my journey with sort of back office outsourcing. I first got into it about 10 years ago, and I found it so beneficial. I actually started my own outsourcing business not because I wanted to own an outsourcing business and make money from it. I don't. Virtual Done Well is actually a not-for-profit. The reason is I wanted to have a pool of virtual assistants who I knew were working in good conditions, were paid decent salaries, were looked after, had all their benefits and all the rest of it. That's the reason that I started up my own outsourcing business, so that I could have 100% confidence that my remote team was being well looked after. And that's really how Virtual Done Well started. You'll find lots and lots of videos on this channel about working with virtual assistants. I have to say, hand on heart, it has been the biggest game changer for me as a small business owner to have those people available, at a very, cost-effective rate. They're paid well, but compared with local salaries, it's very, very cost-effective. And I actually have, quite a large team there now helping me. We have I think we have 12 virtual staff. I hate that term. We have 12 employees, full-time employees, based in our Philippines office. And some of those work for accounts and other parts of the business. 7 of them work directly for me because I oversee the marketing for our business, our consulting business. So they're just like staff that would be here in my office. I go over there and visit them. We know each other really well. It's just a fantastic solution for small business owners to have really good quality staff, very cost effective, that you can integrate into your business. So that's what I would suggest if you're struggling. If you're one of those entrepreneurs, small business owners, working 70, 80, I got up to 100 hours a week regularly before I kind of cottoned onto this. So there you go, a little bit of an insight into how to get support for your business. Sorry, I was rambling a little bit, but I thought I'd cover a few different angles. If you enjoy these videos, do make sure you subscribe. If you hit the bell, you'll get notified every time we have a new video coming out, and they come out on a Tuesday evening. And if you've got any questions about this particular topic or anything related, almost anything related to small business, but particularly virtual staff support, just comment down below. I'd love to hear your questions. And you might give me some really good ideas for the next videos. So thank you for watching, and good luck on your small business entrepreneurial journey. Bye for now.